Okay, we're back for round number 2. Let's resize our hand a little bit here. This hand's interesting. We have the potential to have a really nice curve. Just turn 3, turn 4, and then potentially turn 5. So I think it's a keep. Even though it's a little risky because it doesn't do anything until turn 3 and we might not draw land, so it might not be correct, but I think the upside in this hand is so powerful that gotta risk it for the biscuit. Alright, so far so good. Opponent appears to be on Temur Energy. Doesn't know what I'm doing though. Definitely glad he didn't play like a long tusk cub or something there. So he can play like a 3-man energy guy, which is fine. Let's lead off with Gift of Paradise. So this is going to work out pretty well for us. Next turn we're going to get to Hour of Promise with zombies. Then the turn after that we'll be able to Sandworm Convergence. So obviously got a little bit lucky in our, our draw steps, but I'll take it. It's kind of why I kept the hand. Blooming Marsh means he's probably on the Scarab God plan. Virtuoso. So this is actually going to work out pretty nicely because we'll get to Hour of Promise, which will sort of incentivize him to start making Thopters, but then we get to shut them all off with Sandworm Conversions the turn after. So we'll get 1 Desert and 1 something else. Probably Ifnir Deadlands and I don't really know, it doesn't really matter. Maybe just Deadlands plus Hashep Oasis. No, might as well get a pain-free source. Let's just grab like a Rootbound Crag. Pass the turn. Make a couple Thopters. Maybe cast a Glorybringer the turn after. Only makes 1 Thopter. Interesting. Certainly going to double block a Whirler Virtuoso. If he wants to spend Harness Lightning to save it, I'm totally okay with that. Like a Bristling Hydra or something, it looks like. Yep. It's fine with me. Alright, now we get to slam this Sandworm Convergence and see if that ends the game. Spoiler alert, it probably will. Good luck with that one. Just gonna throw everything in front of the Bristling Hydra if he sends it. Yep, didn't figure he would. Play a Scarab God. Alright, Scarab God's not the worst here, but we do have a Scavenger Grounds, luckily. Ooh, so this is interesting. We can actually... How much mana do we need? 1, 2, 1, 2. I have 9 mana. So I can play a Walking Ballista for 2. I can use 1 mana, or 1 of the counters to shoot. 2 mana for Cut to Ribbons, and the remaining mana on Scavenger Grounds to get rid of the Scarab God for good. Which looks like a good plan to me. Yep, I do have enough mana for this. So let's go ahead and ping the Scarab God. Cast Cut to Ribbons on Scarab God. And we can even attack with a Worm token. So let's do that. Doesn't have enough mana to grow his Bristling Hydra to 6 toughness. So he's just going to chump, that makes sense. And let's activate our Scavenger Grounds. Sacrifice Reminap Ruins. Make a worm. Now we're in the driver's seat. Game 1, I don't think they have any good ways to deal with the Sandworm Convergence. Best he can hope for is to grow a Bristling Hydra out of range and just start blocking my worms, but eventually even that's not going to be good enough. Don't even have to worry about Glorybringer or anything. Another Walking Ballista. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana available to us. Guess I'll just play a 4/4 Walking Ballista. And then just continue sitting back. I'm not really worried about anything here. Eventually our board will overpower him. Scarab God's like his only way to win at this point. He's gonna Abrade, destroying the Walking Ballista. Alright, let's go ahead and take down some of his creatures, I think. Probably just take down... I don't even know. I'll take down the Rogue Refiner, and then throw 2 to his face. Draw. Alright, land wasn't bad, because now we get to Spring to Mind and use it end of turn. So let's do that. Continue just doing nothing, basically. Grab a swamp. Pass the turn. Magma Spray. Can't save it, so I'll just shoot his face. I think his only out at this point is Scarab God, and we've already gotten rid of one. I don't know how many copies these decks generally are going to play. Let's draw some cards. Another Hour of Promise. Sweltering Suns. That's actually not a bad draw. Let's go ahead and send in with our worms. Now if he wants to pump up his Hydra to eat one of them, we can just Sweltering Suns post-combat. Or he can just make some chump blockers, that's fine too. I think that's worse for him though. Makes it a lot less likely that Bristling Hydra is going to be able to get big enough to eat something. But you're totally welcome to chump block if you want. Harness Lightning takes down another worm, sure. No cards in hand for him. Let's cast another Hour of Promise. Grab 2 things. Hash up Oasis times 2, I suppose. And play Gift of Paradise, because why not? Cast a Spring to Mine, because why not? And pass, get a worm. And this game should be over. So yeah, Sandworm Convergence is good against Temur if you can resolve it, but that's the problem. Because post-board they're going to have negates and potentially like Appetite for the Unnatural. So, sideboarding. Definitely want Hour of Devastation. Could consider Carnage Tyrant and Nicol Bolas. What's not good? Definitely want the Cut to Ribbons. Sweltering Suns can stay. I mean, my plan is generally pretty solid against them. Glorybringer's okay. The problem is it can't hit other Glorybringers. It can only hit like... it can't hit Bristling Hydras either, usually. It can hit Whirler Virtuosos, which is okay, but not great. Probably should bring in Chandra's Defeat, which I didn't talk about in the deck tech because I just added it before I submitted my list. I realized that, like, I don't really want all 4 Magnus Rays in any matchup except for against Mono Red, in which case we might as well have a Chandra's Defeat instead for one of them. So maybe Treasure Map's a little slow on the draw. We can do like Defeat, and we can cut something expensive and kind of do nothing. Like, I mean, I kind of still want the Convergence, even though it can get negated. Maybe Nicol Bolas is too slow on the draw. Don't know if that's correct or not, but maybe Hour of Promise instead. Or something like that. Still want to have the ability to win long games. Ballista, it doesn't seem spectacular. So maybe I just cut that. Bring in like a couple Carnage Tyrants. Cut like another Hour of Promise maybe. I don't know, let's see how that works. This hand can either be really good or really bad. There's only one way to find out. By being greedy. Okay. Not a great start. But I do get to cycle next turn, I guess. I'll have to draw Cut to Ribbons and deal with... Oh, okay, he didn't have a 2-drop. So actually not that bad. Well, I drew my Cut to Ribbons. Pass the turn. Cycle. Let's go ahead and, I'm not going to play the Evolving Wilds yet, because I want to hold up the Chandra's Defeat at instant speed. But let's use our Cut to Ribbons, just save ourselves some life. The awkward thing is, a Bristling Hydra will be able to live through Hour of Devastation, which is kind of what I was worried about, because he'll have 9 energy available, and he can use it to sink 3 counters into it. Not ideal. So hopefully that's not what we're up against. It looks like it is, though. Awkward. Don't have many good answers to Bristling Hydra, unfortunately. But what deck does, right? Let's draw something useful. And it's not great. Alright, pass the turn. With any luck, he'll play like a Whirler Virtuoso, I kill it with Chandra's Defeat, and he elects to make a bunch of servos or something, but this doesn't seem super likely to me. Just gonna put at least one counter on it. Maybe more. Nope. Nothing. That's probably bad news for me. Let's grab an island. See what we can draw. Well, should have seen this coming. That's kind of what I mentioned in the deck tech. I was worried that something like this might happen. So I'll just pass the turn. Chandra's fine. So let's think here. What can I draw that can deal with the Bristling Hydra? Carnage Tyrant, I guess? I don't think I use my Chandra's Defeat. I think I cast Hour of Devastation, because that's going to take out the Chandra as well. He's going to get to save his guy, but at least it won't have Hexproof anymore. So potentially we'll be able to kill it with, like, Nicol Bolas next turn. Yep, so that happens. We're not dead, but he has a ton of cards in hand, and we're going to be at 1 life, so I don't have high hopes. Yeah, that just kills me immediately. Alright, well, Bristling Hydra got me. It was a pretty speculative keep on my part. So Carnage Tyrant is actually not looking too bad, because that's one way to actually deal with a giant hexproof beater. So maybe it's better than, like, a Vraska. Maybe. Makes some sense to me. Everything else I think I'm okay with. Glorybringer is an option, but he's still going to have removal, and like I mentioned, it's not that great against his deck. Treasure Map's a little better on the play, but still not spectacular. Walking Ballista is still not great either. So maybe I just cut Walking Ballista for like another big threat, something like that. Maybe an Hour of Promise can come back in. Something like this, I don't know. Seems fine to me. We'll be on the play. Guess this hand's a keep. Just more awkwardness. What do I want to fetch with Evolving Wilds? I guess a mountain. We'll do that now. Not that it matters much. Tune with Aether. Who else is looking forward to the day where this card gets banned in Standard? It's only a matter of time. I think it's been long enough that we can safely say that card is a little too good. Right, I'm going to cast a Ballista for 1, which might seem weird, but I don't want to get run over by a Long Tusk Cub value, and we've got pretty much all of our next few turns lined up. Okay, nothing. That's not bad. Okay, let's play Gift of Paradise instead. Put it on Forest, I guess. Attack for 1. What did he grab? An island, okay. I was going to start playing 3-drops. hopefully find an untapped land next turn. Even if we don't, it's not the end of the world. Sweet. It was even a desert. All the better. Let's cast a Hour of Promise. So we'll probably just grab Ipnu Rivulet and like Hash of Oasis. Possibly a Sheltered Thicket or a Rootbound Crag to get pain-free mana. Rivulet for sure though. And yeah, I think Sheltered Thicket. Pass the turn. He can make Thopters if he wants to. You can only make one right now, but it's fine. Don't feel the need to shoot that just yet. Well, maybe. Probably not, though. I'd rather have a Ballista around. I can afford to take 1 damage. Tune. What did he get with it? Mountain. I'll take 1. Now he's holding up Negate, most likely. But I think regardless, I'm just going to play this Hour of Promise. 7 mana available. I could hardcast a Sheffet Monitor. It's not the worst idea. I could send with my zombies also. And then if he blocks, I can pump Ballista and use it to shoot the Virtuoso. Kind of like that. He's just going to take it. Makes sense. I kind of like playing Sheffet Monitor here. It's not crazy, is it? If he has a Harness Lightning, it's going to feel real bad, though. I think I'd rather just like cast Spring to Mind, maybe. Let's see, if I cast Spring to Mind, it gets countered. I can still put a counter on Ballista for whatever that's worth. Let's do that, rather than run into an Hour of Promise. Doesn't matter much which land we get. I'll get a Swamp. Pass the turn. Just gonna cast something. Alright, so let's go ahead and counter. Shoot Thopter. Shoot his face. My guess would be Glorybringer's coming down next turn. Mildly annoying. Not the end of the world. We're gonna have 8 mana next turn, maybe 9. He's not gonna play anything. He might be worried about holding up Negate, which is possibly nice. Or just cast a Scarab God post-combat. It's also pretty good. Oh, Virtuoso. It's fine. It's a world where I might just want to draw some cards here end of turn. This might also be a good turn to cast a Sheffet Monitor. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like playing Hour of Promise first, though. This one I don't mind getting negated so much. Probably tap pretty poorly there, but whatever. If he wants to negate, that's fine by me. Three cards left for him. Alright, pass the turn. See how deep he wants to go down the Thopter rabbit hole, not too far. double up on a Virtuoso. That works. Post-combat, does he have a Scarab God? Nope, just Bristling Hydra. It's not too bad. Still holding up Negate, for whatever that's worth. Cut to Ribbons is okay, but not amazing. This might be a turn where I just want to cast Chef at Monitor. Can't get negated. Forces an answer from him if he wants to send in with his ground creatures. Then I can also cut to ribbons the Virtuoso, which will force the issue on him deciding whether or not to make Thopters. The problem is if he draws a Glorybringer, which he could very well have, he might have just been wanting to hold up Negate this whole time. Virtuoso kind of has done its duty already, so I guess I don't do that. He's not making Thopters. He also didn't have a Harness Lightning, which is, I think, good for me. So as it stands, we have the board mostly locked up. We have an answer to his next threat, as long as it's not Scarab God. He can still chip in for 1 a turn. Pass the turn. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, I guess I'm going to main phase draw some cards. In case I find something I'd rather play. Main phase. 4, 5, 6, wait. 4, 5, 6. This gets negated, I don't mind too much. Sweltering Suns, okay. Could cast that, it's not amazing. But what it does do is it forces him to put a counter on the Bristling Hydra. I lose a zombie, but he loses Virtuoso and the possibility of any future Thopters. Question is that better than cycling? I think either way I can afford to wait 1 turn to make that decision. See what he does first. Just a land. If he does nothing, I'm probably just going to cycle and find something better. Chip in for 1 again. Cycle. Nicol Bolas, not bad. Cut to ribbons, not bad either. Probably just want to cast Hour of Promise first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. We're 1 short of being able to cast Hour of Promise plus Nicol Bolas in the same turn. Let's start with the Hour of Promise, which might bait out a counterspell. I'm going to grab Scavenger Grounds for sure as one of them. And probably just another desert. And then I'll go ahead and use one of these cut to ribbons on the Whirler Virtuoso to press the issue. I could even send with my Chef at Monitor if I wanted to. I think I will. He's actually pretty low in life. If he wants to trade it off for Bristling Hydra, I'm also okay with that. Possible I should have been sending earlier, but I was a little worried about something going massively wrong, like end of turn kill zombie, untap Glorybringer, bam, you know. I think we're actually in pretty good shape here, even if he does have a negate in his hand. He might just have nothing. I'm not sure. He's been holding those cards for a while. I'm just trying to think what it could be. Maybe an Abrade. Hasn't had a good target for it yet. Not sure. Negate makes the most sense to me. I thought maybe he would have countered the Hour of Promise, but I guess not. This is kind of the turn where he has to start doing things, because I am winning on board now. Looks like maybe a Glorybringer. Something big. River's Rebuke. Okay, that makes sense. That is fine. I lose zombies, I take some damage. He also has Negate back up still, which is mildly annoying. I take 6. So yeah, that makes sense if he was sandbagging River's Rebuke plus Negate. Setting up that turn. Luckily we're at a high enough life total that we can mostly recover from that. Oh, what a draw. So let's think here. Can I cast that and do other stuff? 7 mana, so I'll be left over with 5. So I can also cast Gift of Paradise and possibly like Cut to Ribbons as well. But I can't cast it and Chef at Monitor in the same turn, unfortunately. Let's lead off with Gift of Paradise. I guess I'll target Hashep Oasis. Gain a little bit of life back. See if the Star of Extinction resolves. I'll target, doesn't really matter. Target Aether Hub, sure. No, I'll want to target Aether Hub. Target Swamp. Red. Guessing this is going to get negated. Oh, it didn't. Oh, well now I'm in great shape. Thought for sure he had one. I guess not. I was pretty sure he's still sandbagging something though. Maybe I'm just totally off on my radar here. I'll just focus on actually winning this game, I suppose. Unless he's just like the most patient person ever with his negate. Now he's only got 1 card, so then very few things I'm worried about here. He's at 8 life, which means that this Cut to Ribbons is lethal. So let's go ahead and go for that. Might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go for Xaxes. He did have it. Oh, I'm bad. Okay, well, it's not the end of the world. So he goes to 2. Then I'll just Cut to Ribbons a Servant. And next turn we'll have lethal again. That's funny. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. Appetite for the Unnatural, I guess, also makes sense as a card. He could have been sandbagging that whole time. But we have like a million ways to win next turn, so I'm not worried. So I'll just cast this again. Black, black, 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. So why not? Does he have a negate? Huh, okay. I'll cast Chef at Monitor. And next turn we'll have Nicol Bolas to go for another direct damage spell. I guess we also have Ramunap Ruins. I should have just done that. I'm stupid. Ramunap Ruins is not in the deck for what it's normally meant for, but I guess we should have done it correctly there. Either way, we've got this locked up a million ways. Attack. I'm going to go for style and go for a Nicol Bolas kill anyway. And then if he counters that, I will Ramanap Ruins. Just make sure I leave enough blue mana up, or red mana rather. 7 damage. Alright, got there.